relationship. We're recording. Continue. Okay, good. All right. So we do have a little bit of etiquette. We're not really big on rules, but we ask that everyone, of course, be kind. We know everyone is busy, but please try to stay engaged, Joanne. Okay. If you decide to step away, turn off your camera because it can be distracting if you're moving around and getting up and going to get coffee and all that kind of good stuff. Um, Keep yourself muted unless you're speaking, of course. And a reminder that this meeting is being recorded, so if you're going to talk about anything that you don't want out there in the ether, certainly just let Megan know and she will hit that not record button. Okie doke. And next, here we go. You're going to have an introduction. It's going to be our first thing where you get 60 seconds to introduce what you do, yourself and what you do. Remember to say what a good referral will be for you. Also, you want to be sure that you enter your information, your contact information and business info into the chat. And later on, you'll be able to go ahead and save that chat so you'll have it for your information. And okay, then the next thing we'll have is a presentation, which is going to be for 15 minutes. Our presenter today is going to be Richard of Infinia Development. Did I spell that right, Richard? I hope. Oh, wonderful. And today, Richard will be talking about the ever importance of building your online presence. And it is just so important these days. After that, you guys will be put into breakout rooms. If we have enough people, if we don't have enough people, generally we'll keep everybody in one group. But we have 10 minutes in our breakout rooms. And the topic of today is, how do you handle a difficult client or customer? You know, we all probably handle them differently and think of them differently. So I thought it would be a good idea to probably, kind of get that out there and just discuss it. And, you may learn something. You just might. The next thing we'll do after that will be our helpful hints. And this week's helpful hints will be brought to you by Michele Powers of HempWorks. Today, Michele will be giving us some helpful hints on building an audience on Facebook. Yay, Facebook! And then after that, we will have a free-for-all, what we call it, for 20 minutes. And that's basically a time for brainstorming and maybe other creative discussion. If there are things you're kind of stuck on, whether it be your business or sometimes even in life, because if you have something that you're stuck on in life, it can kind of stifle your business. So we're here to help, that's for sure, and be a community together for everyone. Okay, so that's what we have. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the screen share. And we will go ahead with our 60-second introduction. And I'm going to go clockwise from where I am. And my first person is Richard. So go ahead, Richard, tell us a little bit about you.
All right, good morning. I'm Richard Luppino. I am President and CEO of Infinia Development. We are a full stack web development agency. And as you're going to find out, we help people with their online presence. We find out what to say, how to say it, make everything look good online so people will actually want to do business with you. As always, good referrals for me are the marketing agencies and the designers that handle the front end, and I'll handle the back end.
Wonderful, Richard. Thank you so very much. We're going to be hearing more about that from you a little bit later on. So I'm really anxious about that, really excited about it. Okay, my next person is going to be over to my left, right, would be Megan. So Meg, you're next.
Amy. Hi. So Joe and I are the co-founders of PNN. Yeah, yes. But my day job is that I am the owner and founder of Phoenix Variable, which is a bookkeeping and financial consulting company here in Poughkeepsie, New York. I also am a senior rep with Primerica, where I can help with any of your life insurance needs, if you need security system, if you would like quotes for auto, home, renters, any kind of commercial insurance, we've got it, and much, much more. And I also have a budding paparazzi business that I go live right now. It's on Wednesdays and Sundays, but I'm looking at that time to see if there's a better time for everybody to come. And then I also have an eBay store with my husband. So lots and lots, and there's more, but that's as much as I'm going to tell today. So
Those many streams of income.
Many
Thank you,
streams.
Megan. Thank you. Moving right along clockwise, we're coming to Dr. Wanda. Dr. Wanda, if you could unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wanda Gentil, aka Dr. Wanda. I am the owner and founder of Not Another Diet, Wanda. It is a health and wellness public health education where I help women.
Oh, we got a little hiccup there, Wanda. Can you hear me?
Hear me?
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Oh, okay. I was frozen, I guess.
You're
So shall I resume, or I don't know where you?
all right. You left off where you help women do
Oh, okay.
what?
So I help women who struggle with digestive and mental health challenges and who would like to improve their health, have a healthier lifestyle. And I have a unique approach where you do not need to feel guilty, feeling deprived, or even thinking about any diet. I don't believe in diet. I think you can absolutely stay healthy without dieting. You just have to know a few things, and that's really what it takes, and make it sustainable. And that's me. And also I have I'm a certified mental health first aid instructor. So I don't just cater to just the May Mental Health Awareness Month. I do this every month. I'm a mental health warrior. I do believe that there needs to be a discussion more and more about that. And third, I have health coaching, also business, where I can do group coaching, and a really good referral would be speaking engagement. So if you're an event planner and if you're looking for somebody to speak, I can definitely speak about practically anything in health and wellness. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Wanda. Thank you. And now, Tony, you're next. Tony, tell us about you.
Good morning, Tony DeQuani with Branding Pros. We're located in Poughkeepsie, New York. We specialize in decorated apparel and thoughtful promotional products. When I tell people about my business, one of the biggest things I like to point out is what's different from us than many other people in my industry. Notice I didn't say competitors. We purchase all of our product, we bring it into our facility. We have about 5,000 square feet of production facility, and we decorate everything here. We do not farm it out. We keep it local, and we employ your neighbors who use your services. So keep it local, 100% at Branding Pros. Good referral type of business would be any kind of business that would play in the dirt, or manufacturing companies. I like working with them. And in addition to that, another good referral source that would be very good for me is would be graphic designers. So thank you very much, and I have to answer the door. Excuse me.
Go right ahead. Thank you, Tony. And moving right around to Michele.
Hey, Tony, when business calls, you got to answer it. You got to go. Michele Powers, and I am a retired speech language pathologist. I worked at BOCES in Saratoga Springs for 30 some odd years. And now I am, I guess I could say I'm all things CBD. I found a passion in that when we used it with my late husband 10 years ago. And I am now on a passion and a quest to teach people. I'm still teaching the benefits of CBD and how it affects your body and your endocannabinoid system. And a good referral for me would be someone who might want to feel or be better. So, and Dr. Wanda, I loved your little, I'm sorry, I missed your presentation, but I loved your little thing. I run a diet group too, and we're not allowed to say the word diet. We're not allowed. It's just not a diet. It's just a healthier way of living. So diet is, it just makes you feel like you're going to fail because we have. So I loved listening to you talk about what you do. Thanks so much. I love being here.
Awesome. Thank you, Michele. You know, we love having you. Thank you very, very much. And moving right along to Susan. Hi, Susan. What do you got for us today?
Hi, good morning. Hi, pleasure to be here. Sorry I missed you guys last Friday.
We missed
So,
you.
yeah, I know. It's good to be here. This has very good energy, very good feeling in this group. So happy to be here. So I'm Susan DeRobertis. I am a business coach and a cash flow and money mindset expert. So I'm a master at helping my clients make more money, to really get inside the wheelhouse of not just teaching you strategies, because I can do that easily and happily. However, it's really the CEO mindset that I'm focusing on, especially now after a year of being so contained. It's now time to grow and expand, and it's very challenging to do it on your own. So a good referral for me is a small business owner or an entrepreneur who is okay, but do you really want to be just okay? I mean, don't you want to get back on track to your plan? Do you have a plan? Did it disappear in the ethers? So time to sit down and have coffee with me. I'm open to face-to-face consultations. So we could do it on Zoom if that's your preference, but it's so important to reconnect with people face to face and develop that real touchy handshake, connection that we as human beings really need and crave, and to develop the trust that's needed to have someone come into your life and your business and help you succeed on your terms. So I'll put my info in the chat, and my office is open.
Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
next up, oh, anytime. All right, next up is Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is new with us today. So yay for Elizabeth for joining us, and hopefully we'll get her to come back again and again. Okay, Elizabeth, tell us a little bit about you, what you do.
Hi, everybody. So I'm going to be kind of quick, just so that I can answer more at the end. So I work with Scholastic Publishing NCP. They work with 43 different states to give the local schools anti-drug, anti-alcohol folders that are customized. So I am a local rep for within an hour from my house. So I do Monticello, I do Middletown, Goshen, Chester, Rhinebeck, North Rockland, those kind of areas. And we do folders for the school. The school and kids get them for free. How they are given is a liaison with the local businesses. There are ad spots on these folders, and I'm going to hold one up in a minute. So what I do is I partner with the local businesses, doctors, independent contractors who want to place a year-long ad to get these to the school. And then from there, I take care of payment, getting it to the publisher and getting everything to the kids. So this is what this is Goshen. So there's like some ads on the front. There's ads on the inside pockets. They get different information. Under the pockets is drug and alcohol. There is state capitals, punctuation, that kind of stuff. And then on the back, this is the back. I'm just going to go quick. These are some of the past ads that have been placed. So a good referral for me is any small business, independent contractor, anyone in this group really, who just wants to be a part of the community and also promote themselves, because I truly think it takes a village to raise the kids. So anyone with that initiative.
Beautiful. Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm definitely going to be talking with you. Absolutely. And Samantha is actually next. Hi, Samantha.
Hi. My name is Samantha, and I have two businesses. I am a freelance travel agent that specializes in travel within the United States. And I also sell paparazzi jewelry on the side. And normally I would be wearing some to show off to you guys, but I am dressed very comfortably to work on a paper after this and a final exam for my classes. So,
oh boy,
you guys are my procrastination for the morning.
And we'll take your whole morning. Okay,
yeah.
Continue. I'm sorry.
And and a good referral for me would be event coordinators that do in-person events now that it's getting warmer and everyone's wanting to go out. I'd love to get connected and start, being a vendor at some of those events. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. And we had somebody join us, Mr. Maurice. Go ahead and give your intro, Maurice. Thanks for joining us today.
Maurice Laux, New York Life. Hopefully I'll be your favorite New York Life agent eventually. If not, I still love all of you. It's okay. I help with long-term care, college planning, retirement funding, kind of, one-stop shop, so to speak. Good referrals for me are young families, small business owners, new homeowners, new parents, anything like that. And that is all I have.
Oh, okay, great. Sorry, got a little crazy there. Got a little bit crazy. I apologize. And I guess I'm left. Hello, everybody. My name is Joanne Zagari, and I am co-creator and host with Megan in this group, PNN, not CNN, PNN. And also, I am also the owner and creator of Blue Dove Marketing, where I organize online events through Facebook groups to advertise your business to people who never knew you existed. I also am a paparazzi consultant, where I am now a director within the company and pushing for premier director. And we have beautiful jewelry that everything is $5. Everything's lead and nickel free. And a good referral would be any small business that's looking to get more eyes on their business. I kind of look at it as like a billboard effect when you do these little bits of advertising here and there. And of course, another referral would be all of you guys coming to my lives and just kind of, egging me on kind of thing, being my cheer. You don't really have to be there to buy anything, but certainly be there, invite people to come to my lives. They're every Monday and every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook. So that's me. Hi, guys. All right, that's great. Now we've got that done. Next thing that we're going to be doing is our presentation, which is Richard. Now, Richard, I guess we're going to share a screen. Do you have a little slideshow for us? Okay, you want to unmute there? All right, excellent. So I'm going to let Richard and Megan take it from here. And for our presentation, this is going to be good. I'm really looking forward to this.
All right. Good morning. My name is Rich Luppino. I am president and CEO of Infinia Development. We are a full stack web development agency. And what that really means is we write the code for both the front end and the back end of websites. The front end being things like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and the back end with things like PHP and C# and platforms like WordPress and ASP.NET. So that's what it really means to be full stack. So we're going to talk about your online presence next. And when it comes to your online presence, content is king. Look, you've got to know when to turn your phone off. You've got to know what people are searching for when they're looking for your product and services, what questions they're answering or asking so you can answer them. You really need to know all that. And where content is king, consistency is queen. So you kind of want to keep answering those. You want to do blogs. You just want to keep building on that because it keeps your site fresh. It keeps things going. Now we find it quiet. So you really need to know really what are people doing and what they're looking for. And the way you do that is you hire somebody like me and we do keyword research. We start saying what your business does, what your services are, and what is being searched and how many people are searching for it on a monthly basis. And we get all this information, we find variations of that keyword and things that are related to that keyword and questions people are asking. We use this information to decide, what's going to go on your service page, what's going to go on a blog, what's going to go into a frequently asked questions. So you have all this information. So when someone says, hey, I'm looking for this information, they come to you, they find it, and they're engaged with it. And the longer they stay engaged with it, that becomes a search signal, which helps you rank higher. And of course, the higher you rank, the more people you get, the more they get engaged, the higher you rank. And it just becomes a big circle of getting people onto your website. Now, not only do we want to know what you want to say, we want to know what your competition is saying. So I drew a blank on it. So we find out what they're saying, where you overlap, and ideally you want to encompass all of what your competition's saying. You want to talk about the same things they're talking about as well as your own. Even if it's a little branded, it's okay. You can actually kind of mention them in brands. You see commercials do that all the time when they talk about competitions and branding. You can do that there too. It's to kind of get that audience over to you. So if you're looking for your competition, you may not come up first, but you might come up second or third. You're still showing up. And if you're showing up, people might sit there and go, oh, what's that about? And try to search you. I talked about you want to get frequently asked questions, what people are asking. One of the things you want to do is put a frequently asked questions on your site, which can then become something that people find as a snippet. We refer to this little thing as a rich snippet on a website. This is actually position 0. Right? When you talk about doing search engines, you have, everyone goes, oh, we got spot 1. Yeah, that's nice. Being on spot 0 is better. And you do that by answering the questions they're asking for. And of course, there's other things that go on in the background to get you here. But then and we've all seen this little box where it answers those questions. You hit the little drop down and get the answers. And that can inspire them, again, to come to your website to go get more traffic, which is really what everything is about. But you also want to have the right website, because you want the website to actually be engaging, to actually look good. The site and the content really have to marry each other. So if you look at something like this, you're looking at this going, who is this really going to attract? This is a bit of a mess, you know, and you're thinking, oh, maybe people who, you know, want to spend like $5, $10. Well, I don't even know if that would even work there, because you really have to understand what your client's value is to you over a lifetime. So even like the dollar stores, their websites aren't even that bad. But this truly understands what his client's looking for. Look, when they come here, they really want to see how to get to him. So, and I know the map's kind of cut off, but you can kind of see it. They're answering what they're looking for. They're looking, how do I get to this store? It's a dollar store. I just want to go there, pick up a couple things easy. I don't want to get crazy. So that actually kind of understands what the lifetime value of your client is. One of the things people kind of make a mistake when they deal with all this is they look at your website and your whole online presence as an expense. And when you're looking at it as an expense, you start seeing some of these prices and go, oh my God, that's expensive. Well, it's not an expense, it's an investment. And really what you need to do is look at how much are you going to make from all this. Because if you're going to make more than you spend, everything's good. I'm kind of going with an example. I talked about, you know, with the dollar stores, their lifetime value of a client might be what, $100, $200? Yeah, they're not going to go crazy and buy crazy websites. They're pretty much going to be like maybe one step over a brochure, gives you a little bit of information, what deals are going on, how to get to me, how to call me. Keep it simple. But if you have a client that says, say they go with $2,000 a month and their life expectancy is 5 years, that's $120,000. If you get one every month, at the first year, you're gonna make $146,000. And if you do this for the 5 years investment, it keeps going every month, you're gonna make $1,308,000. So you could spend some money to get that. It's actually worth it. And let's face it, you're gonna go to a website that looks like this. If you're looking for a client that's worth it, you're gonna sit there and say, oh yeah, I'll give this person $120,000, or something more like this. Right, this actually speaks to your client more. It's elegant, it's slick, very clean. It navigates very well. They can see what they want, where they want to go. It just really speaks to them. And this is the kind of site that makes somebody say, hey, yeah, I'll give them $2,000 a month. That's absolutely worth it, because they clearly care about their business. They show what they do. They talk to me. They understand me. You know, I want something sophisticated. I don't want some dollar store junk. I want something real. I'm spending real money. So we have to get all that together and make it all tie in with the keywords, with the design. Everything has to marry nicely to get this to come off. And it takes a team. I know a lot of times people want to do it themselves, and that's usually a mistake. For the most part, you may be good at what you do in your business. Or in fact, if you're in successful business, you are good at what you do in your business. Doesn't make you a copywriter. It makes you whatever you do. In my case, I'm a developer. I'm not a copywriter either. I know copywriters. They'll talk to them better. And there's also a lot of other things. When people want to do things themselves, they kind of wind up with stuff like this. And they sit there and go, oh, I think that's great. Well, you know, they had this thing called Flash, and they put a flash drive in thinking, look, everything's moving around, everything's cool, except for Flash is not everywhere. And you wind up with something like this on some people's websites, and that's a turnoff. Because they look at this and say, oh, this site's broken, I'm gonna leave. This doesn't make any sense for me to stay here. Now you've lost a client. They also think and put stuff like this there thinking, oh, look, I got a little marquee. This is a marquee that would go around with a testimonial. And testimonials are great, but I wouldn't put it here. That's a distraction. You don't want to distract people too much. You want to get to a point, especially on your homepage. Your homepage is going to have a lot of distractions as it is. To add more to it, again, might turn somebody off and have them go someplace else altogether just because they're confused and distracted. And they also kind of do things like this with their menu, which could be a whole lot cleaner, a whole lot easier to deal with, because they could have little drop downs. A lot of these things could be condensed into drop downs, so it's not taking up so much space. And that's more of a look and feel thing. It's not so much something that's going to turn a visitor off per se, but most visitors do expect things to be in a drop down. That's a very common thing to see on a website. Hit something and we drop down for a more or bigger menu. Instead, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, you might decide to do something like this and make a whole page out of that menu. And that's really not what you want to do either. We could actually take this, and there's something called a mega menu. It's actually a drop down that could have 3 columns and pictures, but it's, again, cleaner. You're not wasting a page. You've got this page here. The search engines are going to sit there and they're going to index this for what reason? What's going to happen with this? It's a wasted page. It doesn't make sense. You're better off having that as a mega menu and having it drop down and then have them go to the places they want to go. Then you have another thing like this that says, you know, how to select a contractor, and they have, again, something that could have been in the drop-down menu. And this just has a picture. It doesn't say a whole lot of anything. So it's like, okay, how do I select the contractor? They have to live in a house? I don't know. I don't get that. That doesn't make sense to me. What was this for? It doesn't say anything. And even the other things like the dilemma. I don't want dilemmas. I don't want problems. I want someone with solutions. Don't tell me the problem. I'm living with the problem. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Tell me what it is I need in life. You know, and then sit there and go, okay, having one of these is like buying a new car. Well, crap, I'd rather have a new car. I'll go out and buy that. And I'm going to leave the website and buy a new car. I mean, you had to select the contractor. Great. Now I know how to select the contractor. Thanks, Steve. I'm going to go hire Bob. I mean, you're not telling them why me. You're just telling them how to do something that they may not turn around and do with you or for you. Another problem when you do it yourself is you don't realize that you need a secure website. So you'll kind of get things like this that say not secure, or you'll get a big warning from the search engine saying this is not a secure website. And people go, oh my God, I'm not going there. I might get a virus, and they'll leave. And that's not really true. It's just you don't have it set up correctly. So hiring professionals, everything will be set up correctly. People will come to your website. They'll be engaged with that website. They'll really understand what it is you do and why they should choose you to do it. And it really helps with a lot of that. And I also kind of pointed that thing at the end that kind of shows that this is an HTML site. It means it's a static site. And where a lot of pages are static, you have a lot of pages that need to be dynamic. And you'll never be dynamic with HTML because it's not a dynamic language. It's not even a language. It's just something that kind of, it's data that describes data. It's a meta site. So you really want something more dynamic, more engaging. Another thing people like to do when they do it themselves is they go on their Google My Business page and they say, oh, look, Google My Business gives me a website. That's true, but this should not be your main website. It's really just information that Google pulls off your Google My Business and lays it out for them. And if you have, and you share the Google My Business page, you definitely want to put that website on there. It's just another thing that people could find for you. If they see it, they could come back to you. But you really want your main website not to be that, because at any point in time, Google might turn around and say, oh, you know what? Your account's canceled because you violated something, or we changed the rule and you didn't change it. They get fickle and they will start, and they've done, I've seen it happen. I get these emails all the time about my clients, oh, this account's canceled. I got to go back and find out why. And you know, you don't want that. It's just lost time. Where if you had your own website, it's your asset, it's your whatever you want. You want to take it down, it goes down. You don't, it stays up. You don't let somebody else decide that for you, because it makes no sense to do that. Now, how I knew this was from Google My Business, the layout told me that. I looked at the layout right away and said that was a Google My Business page, but also the heading tells me that, you know, instead of having .com or something, it's .business.site, which is Google's top level domain that they own. So this is a sub page of their site. It's not a main page. Pretty much kind of what I came up with. Is there any questions? I'd be happy to answer them. I'm not sure how much time I have left. I didn't really have a timer on this.
I think I forgot to. Sorry. Oh, Joanne, you're muted.
And I can actually.
Yeah, I am. It figures. And it's a good thing that I'm muted. You know, I did have a couple of questions, Richard. This was absolutely awesome. I'm currently building a Shopify store for my paparazzi jewelry.
Okay.
Because as paparazzi consultants, we have inventory, and the inventory that you're not selling online, you can go ahead and put on that Shopify store. Now, my question to you is, do you, of course, I build a store because I have to put all the stuff in there. Are you someone who goes about how to promote that site so that I get visitors to the site?
Promote that site as far as doing search engine optimization, yes. See,
Okay.
If you're looking for someone that does social posts, I'm not the person that does that. But
No.
with search engine optimization, absolutely can do that.
Okay, so that is something that you do because, you know, of course, I'm going to, you know, trying to do things, but I'm not an expert at this. And so when the time comes, right now, I just started building it. So the time comes, I think I might be hitting you up for, you know, to see if it's something that I'm able to do this, that we can work together. Also, another question, you know how when people have like videos that they put up,
Okay.
and in the beginning, they have like a branding video, like of themselves and what they do, and there's music and all that kind of stuff. Do you do that kind of thing? Do you know what I'm referring to?
I do know, kind of like what I did in the very beginning of the slideshow. Where I had the hand draw my thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I can do that as long as it's something that's fairly simple. I do have software that will do that. Not a problem. If you want something more complicated than that, I know people.
I know people.
I know
people who know people. We'll do one.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding.
Either I can do it or I can find someone that can do it. I kind of, you know, sit in that kind of.
Okay.
Am I still sharing by chance?
Yes, you're still sharing. I see the universe.
Here's where it is.
Something. Looks like the moon.
It was on the wrong screen. It was on my second screen, so I couldn't find it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go, where's the stop sharing screen? It's on the second screen.
All right, cool. So those are my questions. So I'm definitely gonna be hitting you up. I definitely
okay, absolutely.
See what this is all about. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, Richard. Anyone else have any questions for Richard?
Well, you did say we shouldn't be using the Google sites as our main site.
That's right.
Would you recommend using that to kind of point to a website for you? Well, like kind of have it as like a little hop spot?
Google builds that for you, but I do believe they do have a link to your main site if you have one, so that would be great. Again, it's just another spot. So if someone searches by name for you, your website should be the first thing that pops up. Mm-hmm. But to have that come up second or third is not a bad thing, because maybe someone hits that instead, and then they eventually get back to your website. So definitely want to put it up there. Just don't want to make it your main, because you have no control over it.
Sounds good. Anybody else?
Okay. Anyone else? All right. Well, good. Richard. Oh, Michelle. Yes.
Say, that was very informative, Richard. Thank you so much. And I can't agree with you more as far as having the drop downs and have it, you know, kind of curiosity and having good content, because you have about, I don't know, you may know more statistics, but you have about a window of 2 or 3 seconds, maybe 10 seconds at the most, to grab somebody. And if you don't do it, it really,
Yeah, the average person, you have about 7 seconds to grab somebody. Yeah. Me, you're lucky if you have a second or two, honestly, because I'm like all over the place. So the quicker you can grab someone, the better.
Absolutely.
I just did what you said, Richard. You know, I just Googled my name to see, well, how am I doing? And when I Googled it, the homepage for my website was at the top. So because I had, you know, I hired someone to fix my stuff because it was a mess a while back, and I probably need to do that again because I added things, but it really looked so much more professional by doing that. And what you say is really key, because otherwise, you know, you're just in the gobbledygook of everybody else.
Right. And that becomes a negative too, because if you're not speaking to them, they find you on a search engine and you're not really speaking what they want to hear, they're going to leave. That, from Google standpoint, this is more SEO, which is something I can talk about another day.
Yeah.
But that's called a bounce. When someone goes to your website, does nothing at all, goes back, they bounced. If you have a lot of bounces, they think that's a negative and you don't know what you're talking about, and your search engine goes down. Every industry is expected to have a certain percentage of a bounce rate because people go and they don't really want to be there. They get that. But if you have a very high bounce rate, they think you're not an expert. And if you're not an expert, you're not showing up in the search engines, because I want my users to have a good experience. And this was from Google's point of view. They want their users to have a good experience. What's a good experience? Getting their answers. They're not getting it, you're not it.
You move on. Yeah, you're right. Like that. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. This is all good stuff, guys. This is all good stuff, because you know what? We all need it. We all need it. So, all righty. So if anybody else have any questions at all? No, we're good. Okay, good. So we're going to be moving on to our breakout rooms, guys. Megan is going to take care of putting us in. Do you want breakout rooms today, Megan, or you want to just everybody talk about it? How do you guys feel about it? Show of hands. Who wants to go in a breakout room? One person. Michelle,
Anybody
there's
want
always
to
one.
stay here?
There's always one. We can certainly talk about it here if you'd like. We'll see how it goes. You know, if it finds out that people are talking over people, then we'll do like 2 breakout rooms, like 4 and 4 kind of thing, or what have you. All right. So let's see how this goes. The question of the day was, how do you handle a difficult customer? And, you know, only because Megan, you know, I kind of like that we can do this all together, because Meg doesn't get really a chance to get into a breakout room because she's got to like lead the whole thing. And, you know, and I kind of got this because Megan has had this past week, or actually past month or so, has been dealing with, you know, a couple of really difficult people, and it does happen. So I'm going to go around the room and see if anybody has any input and what they would think, because sometimes how another person deals with a difficult customer or client, it may help you, may give you a hint. So I'm now going to start at the bottom. Instead of going clockwise from the top, I'm going to go counterclockwise from the bottom. And I'm going to start with Maurice. Maurice, are you okay with this? Do you have a...
I mean, I've handled customer or clients on both the professional side, and I've honestly been unprofessional with a client because she got very, very snippy and very rude, and I just my level that day was off. But it goes to the fact that, you know, she had called me about some underwriting process, and I let her know that it's going to take a week or so to get everything back. She said, well, it shouldn't take that long. I'm like, well, why not? I was like, you know, you've been in the business before? How long have you been in the business? So, well, it should be quicker than that. I was like, well, it's not. I was like, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to wait. There's a process that they have to go through. And she just ended up yelling at me. So I yelled back, and it was a train wreck.
Okay, but certainly not the best way.
No.
You guys can unmute yourselves, because if you want to interject and maybe help, because Maurice, that could happen to you again. And it's whether or not you want to possibly. What was that?
He got sucked in. I was just going to say he got sucked in. He got sucked into that vortex, because there are people. Another hat that I wear is I do crisis intervention with teachers and kids. And because you got sucked in, there's people who really do just want to upset you. And the moment you get upset, she won.
Yeah.
You can think, well, I won because I told her right where to go, or you know what, but she won, and that may have been her only goal that day, was to get you upset. And it's hard. It's called a power struggle. It's so hard not to get sucked in, because she was really speaking to your competence. Well, what do you mean? It shouldn't take that long. It doesn't take most people that long. Why is it taking you? And she went, she digged. She went right to your ego. And we're human. We're human. We all get sucked in.
No, absolutely. And it was also a learning experience, you know, how to,
absolutely.
how to
Now,
truly handle it or not handle it.
that is true.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Susan.
Something. I had this very same thing go on this month. It went on for a couple of weeks. One of my private clients, who's an architect, and he's been with me 2 years. And let me see, he didn't like his bottom line. He thought it should be more, Now I'm not in charge of, what projects you get, and do you follow everything I tell you to do in terms of acquiring clients. And he didn't. He was very laid back about it. And so his bottom line reflected that. And so there were a lot of changes going on in his office. So when he expressed, this is, not what I, want. And so I asked him a lot of questions. I came from curiosity and caring. What is it that, you expected? What did you want to see? And in getting those answered, I addressed him. We're going to meet for coffee. He's re-signing with me for another year. And it was all about really listening and not reacting. It was just being curious.
Listening is very important.
Yeah.
Susan, what you're saying. Yeah. So we only have 10 minutes and everybody needs a chance.
I'm done.
So I just want
to my 2 cents.
I actually like that. And I'm going to end with a little something on that. Okay, I'm going to go over Tony. Tony's busy. So let's Tony do his thing. Megan, give us a little shot of a little bit of your how you handle a difficult customer.
My wisdom. Well, yeah, like Joanne said, as soon as I saw what she had for the topic, I was like, oh, Joanne's trying to help me out. Yeah, like she said, I've been having a little bit of difficulty with a couple clients the last couple months, one of which I just was like, yeah, we're just in a personality clash. It's just not good for either of us. Luckily, I'm in a place where I can say, comfortably, well, you know what? It's okay. We don't need to be forcing a relationship that's just not mutually beneficial. You get to a point where you're finally like, I'm not scraping by. I'm a little more comfortable financially enough that I can say, okay, I can let this person go, and it'll be okay. And it's better for us. Hopefully that person will respect me more because I said, hey, this isn't working. It's okay. It's okay that we don't get along really great. It's not.
All right, and that's good. We can certainly delve more into this during free-for-all time, because this can be a very, very big topic. Yeah. And everybody has a lot of good stuff. So I think if nobody else brings it up during free-for-all, I will. Let's move up. Tony, are you available now? Do you have any little?
First of all, I apologize. We're at a skeleton crew here, and
that's
the day
fine.
before the weekend is actually busier than I thought, but that's okay. I've heard Rich a lot of times.
He knows what I do. Yeah.
The key in minimizing difficult clients for myself is right from the initial meeting is to manage expectations. And if you do that properly, you don't eliminate it, but you minimize the opportunity for those things to happen. When they do happen here, I'm fortunate that I do have a few other people that I can either play off of, if I feel I'm reaching the point where Maurice alluded to earlier. And I think you also have to be able to, sometimes all of our relationships are via emails and such. And before you handle that difficult client with a response, even if it's in an email, not on a phone call, I suggest that everybody have somebody that reads an emotionally responsive email over to make sure that you haven't crossed the line. Um, those are, man's,
Yes.
like Clint Eastwood used to say, man's got to know his limitations, and I realize mine, and I can be a very emotional person, whether it's angry or crying. And I realize that. So I call in help as frequently as possible when I feel my edge, my bucket being tipped a little bit.
You're being pushed. You're like you're being pushed. It's very true because we always have to remember it is business. It's not personal, and you can't take it personal as far as it goes in the way of the Corleones there.
I had a
It's
godfather
business.
that used to say that a lot. Yeah.
It's business, not personal. And I will tell you a lot of times that you don't know what happened with that person today. You don't know if they had a fight with their spouse, if somebody's really sick, if they just got up on the wrong side of the bed or whatever. And you know what? You're the first one that they're going to attack because you know what? They're paying you. They want a certain thing. I'm going after that one. We've all been there, that kind of thing. And I've always found that. And I come from a background of 40 years in sales and customer service, working for other companies. So you had to make amends with that customer. You couldn't engage in arguments with that customer, or I wouldn't have a job. So yeah, expectations is one thing. What were you expecting? Tell me, talk to me. Listening is probably, like Susan said, listening is probably the best thing that you can do. Not just hearing, but actually listening to what it is. And you're going to find that probably you're not the issue at all. Okay. You're going to find that it's totally something else. Like Maurice, when that happened, I don't know if it's there or not, but possibly if you just would have sat back and kind of listened to what she had to say instead of letting the hair go back or go up on your back, which we tend to do, especially as entrepreneurs and being, emotional and that kind of thing. So that's probably the best thing you can do. Tony, actually, I have an old boss who said the delete button is your best friend when you're typing out an email kind of thing, put all your emotion in there and they go delete, 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 delete is probably your best friend. Okay, yes, we're moving along. Let's go up to Samantha. Sam, how do you deal with a difficult client? I don't know if you've had the opportunity, but let's hear it.
Yeah. Kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
It works. Just be firm,
Yes.
persistent, and smile. And at the end of the day, they're either gonna calm down, and if they don't, bye.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm too busy to deal with it, but yeah, kill them with kindness. It normally works by the end of the day or end of the week, and that's just my strategy. And if it doesn't work,
That's
then
awesome.
they're not the right customer.
That's just the way sometimes it just has to be. All right, Dr. Wanda, difficult client.
Like you all said, everybody has gotten that encounter. Acknowledge definitely how they are feeling, asking them what happened, what are they not happy with, and rectify the situation. And as Samantha said, that's right, kill them with kindness. Make sure that you over deliver, maybe compensate, and then have them always as a repeat customer. But certainly where I draw the line is insults and yelling. That I will hang up. And actually I did that once. I was at a doctor's office. Thank God the physician overheard the conversation because there was a racial slur that was emitted, and the doctor said, you are not coming back here anymore. Thank God he had my back, and that was it.
Good. Got it. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to draw the line at something. When it comes to like name calling and all that kind of stuff, it's like, okay, you need to call back when you calm down, kind of thing, for sure. Absolutely. Okay, Elizabeth.
So I haven't had it really too much with this job. I started about a month ago. So before that, I spent my last decade of working in hospitality.
Oh,
In my last 2 years, I was a hotel reservation supervisor. I've been in restaurants, I've been in theme parks. So for me, yeah, you kill them with kindness, and yes, you do listen, try to get them to the right people. But at the end of the day, I've also learned that people are gonna, you can only do so much. Like I try to direct them, take a message, pass them along if I have to. I try to obviously fix it myself. In a hotel, I was in a health resort. I can't answer for the wellness manager. I
Mhm.
can't answer for the masseuses. I can certainly take your message. I can pass it. I can apologize. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to wait for them, or if you want to take your frustration out on me over policy or something, I can only do so much. So at the end of the day,
Right.
or booking, well, why is it this much? You can't do this discount. I've told people, look, like I really would like to help you. It's up to you. It's your money. If you want to book it, I'm happy to do what I can. If you don't, then you don't. I can't rewrite a policy for one person.
There's only so much you can do, especially when you have policy in place. You have to
And-
go by that. And especially if you're not, don't have that ability, or you're not at that level to make, any kind of concessions for anyone. So yeah, there's only so much you can do.
And the folders, I've had a couple. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, we only have a couple minutes left, and we still have Richard. We're going to talk more about this.
Sure.
So we're definitely going into it. And Richard, go ahead.
I kind of agree with Tony. Set up your expectations of all that. I usually have a contract in place when I start dealing with people for that one reason. This is what you signed off for. You signed off on. This is what we're doing. So it kind of takes the legs out of them a little bit, but that doesn't mean that it stops them. Luckily, I don't have a lot of difficult clients right now, and mostly because of the way I get my clients. I get them from people I know, like, and trust, who send me people they know, like, and trust. So it's kind of like, well, that makes it a little bit easier not to have problems. But I have in the past, and you try to explain things to them. Sometimes it gets to a point where they're just clearly not listening to you. And when I used to be business before I was working for myself, I would just send it up the line to somebody else saying, you know what, if you're not going to listen to me and we're telling you what's going on, maybe you listen to them. But it comes a point in time where it's like, you know what, we can't do business together. You're just not listening. It's you hire me for a reason. You're not taking the reason. I guess we have to break ties.
There you go. Sometimes I think that's kind of the gist of this whole thing, is that sometimes you got to know when to let go. You just have to.
What's the song? Know when to hold them.
Know when to fold them.
More than just
Absolutely.
cards.
Or in a case like Elizabeth, when you can only do so much for a customer when you're in a certain position, you may have to refer them to somebody higher up, if that's what is going to make them happy. But I've always found that if you just take the time and listen to what they're saying, a lot of times you're going to find out that really wasn't the issue at all. That's kind of what I have found. So, and again, listen, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted Richard to have some time because our clock had run out. So our next thing here is going to be helpful hints. And today we have Michele Powers, which kind of like goes in line with Richard as far as building an audience. However, hers is more building the audience with Facebook. And I'm going to give 10 minutes on the clock to Michele. I know she's not one who likes the clock when it comes to talking. I know. But go ahead, Michele. It's all you.
It's tough. I have a degree in talking. I can't help myself, but I also am very passionate about, helping others. And, when you're trying to build on Facebook, which, this whole pandemic put us all in a situation where that was one of our only ways to really get what we have for others out there. So what you have to do is, first of all, is you have to realize that Facebook, and may not you guys, the men here, may not understand what I'm saying, but Facebook is like a high school clique. Okay, it definitely is. I like you, I'm going to show your stuff. Oh, I don't like you. Or like you were saying, Richard, if you've had too many bounces, they're going to say, well, gee, you know, Michele really doesn't have much to share. So, and no one's really engaging with her. So I'm going to put her posts down at the bottom. Okay. So I, you know, follow people who are like-minded and who I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in mindset. So I kind of follow this gentleman who, in my 40-year career as a speech pathologist, I worked a lot with kids who are in the autism spectrum. So not that I, you know, am autistic, but I kind of think a little bit like that. So, you know, you kind of have to think in reality. And so I follow this gentleman, John Eric Mosley, and he is probably a high functioning Asperger, autism spectrum person, because he really thinks right brained. He thinks just of the math. I mean, Facebook is a math equation, algorithm. It's a math. So he looks at that, and so I follow him, and this is really what he's kind of come up with. And this is what I teach my team and any new person who joins my team, is you have to kind of look at who is on your page, who has eyes on you. Now you can have 3,000 friends. You can have 3,000 friends. I mean, Facebook lets you have up to 5,000 friends, but 5,000 people do not have their eyes on you every day. You know, they really don't. It's probably coming down to 200 or 300, maybe 500. So what you want to have out there is something of a relationship building. So here's what John Eric said, and we call this our social 5. And I have a PDF. So I don't know if I can attach that. Maybe Meg, you can tell if I can attach that with to the chat. It's just a little checklist. Okay, I can. Good, super. So really what step one in building and rebuilding your algorithm. First of all, if somebody comes to me and says, I'm getting no comments, no likes, what I have them do is a friend post. And you've probably seen them. I have so many friends out there, you know, drop a hi if you are seeing me, because I'm not, you know, I can send that friend post to you too. And then what you, I can. Thank you, Dr. Wanda. Then what you do is you figure out how many people have eyes on you. That'll give you a good 200 or 300 or 400 people who have said hi to you. Now, what you do with that is you take those and you do this next couple of things that I'm going to say. The first part of changing your algorithm and getting it more user-friendly for more eyes on it does not begin with us. It really doesn't. We think it does because we all are entrepreneurs and we have great minds, and we think, well, everyone's going to want to know what I'm saying. They're all going to want to flock to me. It's about somebody else. So step one is you start conversation about somebody else. You go down your news feed. Now, this is going to be difficult because you're going to want to stop at Meg. You know, I mean, I see her. I want to but Meg and I already see each other. So I'm not going to start at Meg. I'm going to go down and down and down until I find somebody who I don't really interact with every day or every other day, or maybe even weekly. Okay. I'm going to do 5 thoughtful comments on the next 5 people that I see that I don't interact with. Okay, I'm going to and a thoughtful comment. And I know I'm not going to get into the math, but as far as John Mosley says, it has to be 120 characters, and spaces are characters. So a thoughtful comment would be, hey, Dr. Wanda, it's nice to see, or you might have made a comment about an inspirational thought, let's say. So I'm going to see that you say, you know, life is a journey, you know, keep turning pages because it's going to get better or something. And I'm going to say, oh my goodness, I could have totally, could I have used that earlier this week? I've had such a tough week. Thank you so much for sharing that. It really talked to me today. Okay. Now, Dr. Wanda gets that. She's going to say, that was awful nice that Michele did that. She's going to engage back at me, but I'm not going to engage just yet with her. So I'm going to just leave that. I'm going to find 4 other people and make mindful, thoughtful comments on them.
Typing, and they throw my name in there every now and
then. So that's number 1. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my notifications, which is the little bell at the top. And I'm going to click down, and I'm going to find everybody who commented on something I did yesterday, the day before. And now I'm going to go to them and thank them for commenting. I'm going to see what they said. I'm going to engage a little bit more. See what I'm saying? I haven't done anything about me yet. Thank you, Dr. Wanda. I haven't done anything about me yet. It's all been about other people. Okay, so that's step number 1, 5 thoughtful comments. Step number 2, go to my notifications, figure out who's responded back to me, engage back with them. Now, after I've done that, step number 3, I can make my first post because I've already primed my pump. I've already started the interaction. I've already told Facebook, wow, Michelle's a great interactor. Well, we all knew that because I talk so much, and what can you do about that? But, you know, Michele is interacting with all these people. She's giving value. She's complimenting. She's a good friend. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to do this like, oh my God, here's another thoughtful, mindful thing I'm going to do with somebody. I'm not talking about that. If you're on Facebook, you're a social creature. You're on it to find out about people. Some people are on it to stalk it too. You understand that. But they're looking at that, okay? It's a social entity. It's kind of like what our happy hours used to be like when we could go out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and have a couple cocktails with the colleagues. You were networking during your happy hours, whether you knew it or not, you know, because exactly what Richard said, people will follow those who they know, like, and trust. And if you're putting that out on your Facebook profile, on your newsfeed, people are going to come back to it and say, well, what's Michele doing today? Or what's going on in her life? You don't have to have the super exciting life, but if you're giving value, and like you were saying with content, Richard, if you're giving value and content every day, people will follow you because of that. So now you've made your first post. So then you can just go back a little bit to your first and second one again, kind of prime it a little bit more, but you can be done. You can be done. The next one is, and I don't know how many of you do stories, but stories is huge now on Facebook, the sequence of it, because you know what they say, facts tell. I can tell you everything about me and what I do and what I believe in, but if I tell a story about it, that's going to sell you. That's going to say, well, she's about her. So facts tell, stories do the selling. Okay. And really what's happening now with our stories, and I've got the statistics here, is that where's my number 6? The percentages are, Facebook stories have 3 million active users lately or daily. 3 million. 62% of people that Facebook has asked say they become more interested in a product or a business after seeing it in a story. I could do another whole training on what stories are, but stories are your best friend. Like Dr. Wanda, when you're talking about May being mental health awareness, you know, we all have someone that we know, love, and care about that may have a mental health issue, especially in this day and age. You know, what I tell people is there's a stress model of crisis and there's a baseline. No one in the world is at baseline, especially after this last year. So really bye Elizabeth, it was good seeing you. Especially now after baseline comes agitation. Everyone is teetering in kind of a heightened state of agitation. So it doesn't take many triggers, or it doesn't take much to tip them over to blame you for why they're feeling a certain way. Okay. So, you know, the whole idea behind Facebook is that it is a math algorithm. So I can go on,
Okay.
on. But any questions on what to do? And I have that PDF, so it's a real good checklist. All you got to do is check it out.
Yes.
It doesn't take longer than 15 minutes. It really doesn't.
If we could
But it
actually
will
put
make
that if we could put that checklist actually on our business page, our PNN business page, because everyone should be
Absolutely.
hopefully like that page and can get information there. This way it's more readily available for everyone. That's awesome. Thank you. I don't mean to cut you off, Michele, but we're at our 10 minutes. And
Yep.
and just to add on to what Michele was saying is that if you go on your computer, not your friend, not on your phone, because on your phone, your friends list is in alphabetical order, but on your computer, your friends list is in order of how often you interact with that person. So if you go way down the list to people who you haven't heard from in a while or haven't seen anything on, and click on their profile, open them up, then you can do that commenting that she's talking about on, and hopefully you'll do something with a question so that they will want to engage with you.
Right.
And then you
Engage
can
back.
engage back, because it's all about that engagement, all about conversation, because Facebook is a relationship building platform. It's just what it is. So you have to build relationships. I have a hard time trying to explain to my vendors that you need to build the relationship. People are going to come from, wherever and go, oh, I'm buying all your makeup. I love it, kind of thing. It doesn't happen that way. You have to make friends with them and get them to like you, that sort of thing. So thank you very much, Michele. I really do appreciate that. We'll have you do another one as well. We're going to go into our free-for-all. And of course, Megan, whenever you're ready, if you
Yes.
want to.
Before we go into the free-for-all, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to stop the recording now. So if anybody who is watching this recording, we really would love to invite you to come and actually engage in the meeting itself. The recordings are meant to whet your appetite, to make you want to come in and join us and be a part of the conversation. And you then also get to be involved in a free-for-all where we get a lot of discussion, a lot of really great communication going. And that's really where the best is yet to come. So come and join us.
Yes,
So
come
stop
join
the
us,
recording
please.
now.
The more the merrier, that's for
Yes.
sure. So, and before we get into